Hey guys, welcome to Double Track episode 3, but the first episode in the podcast format. And you might be wondering, why did you decide to switch to the podcast format? And that was because...
I felt like it.
Sure, well, we're joined with AK Fisherman, who'll be the co-host for today. But that's because it's a lot easier to do this in the podcast format, and plus, most of the things done in the Double Track, I already do on my channel anyway, like explaining... how the game works and throwing off replays and all that other stuff.
Yeah, a lot of it's informational too. I mean, of course, the memes and the visuals are nice.
Yeah, and we'll have those in the regular videos. And so I've decided, let's move this format, and this way you guys can listen to us while you're working. Like maybe you're on Monday, you're like, you know what? I could use something to listen to while I get through this Monday morning blues or whatever.
And listen to how nice our voices are. Aren't they so nice and soft to listen to?
Yeah. No. So that was my plan anyway. And, we'll tell some stories so you guys get to know us. I want to have like a story of the week where we'll be telling. Or, if we can think of a story of the week.
Right.
And we'll get into it. But we had one. We were driving along.
Oh. And, where were we driving today? Park Ave.
You remember the guy?
Oh, yes. That was fun.
The panhandlers, right? Right. You never know.
Homeless people.
The quote-unquote homeless people.
I mean,
you never know if they're telling the truth or not, and so I always like,
Yeah, it's kind of awkward. Different people are different. My dad's like, never give them money. They'll just buy drugs. My mom's like, no, they need it. So, I've been, growing up, I don't know what to do. So,
but this guy would have bought drugs.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
And he looked straight. So we're parked right at an intersection. So red light.
Stop moving the wires.
Stop moving.
The wires.
Oh, yes, the wires are important.
You're like, tap, tap, tap.
What's up? Anyways. And this homeless guy is panhandling, but I've never seen one, stare directly into my eyes. And,
into his soul.
And, he looked such on something, and he walks up to our car, and he looks at me, and he looks at you, and he looks at the guy behind us.
He's standing in the road now.
Standing in the road. He walks up, and he looks right at me, and he comes closer, and all of a sudden, tap, tap, right there on my window, right where my face is, looking right at me. And then he taps, are you looking at me? I'm looking at him this whole entire time. How can I not be looking at you? You didn't need to grab my attention. And he asks, do you have any smokes?
But it was the high on whatever drug he was.
Yeah. Maybe he was asking for a lighter. I don't know.
You gotta smoke. Yeah. You gotta smoke. Like that. That's what he said.
Oh man,
just like that.
And then he looks at the giant that's sitting right behind me, and he's like, "Let me look right into this kid's eyes." Yeah, your brother is huge.
Yeah, he's huge.
Destroy him. And your immediate reaction was,
as soon as he was coming towards, I'm like, I had this because he was staring, and I'm like, oh boy, lock the door, and I locked it, and he comes up, knocks on the window, and I was like, I'm locking the door for your safety because my brother's gonna come out and pound you.
Yeah, exactly. I had no fears of this guy. I knew that if I just opened my door, I'd probably knock him over, but. Yeah,
you could have blown on him. He would have fallen over.
Yeah. But, it was sad. I feel bad for him, honestly. I don't, knock on anyone who's just in a really bad situation and just stuck in.
It is unfortunate. It really is. But a lot of the time it's their own choice.
You got your iPod or your phone or something with a list of different ideas you want to talk about?
Oh, yeah, things we wanted to talk about for sure. I do. I have that right here. But before we do, you have any adventures in World of Tanks? This is a World of Tanks podcast. We haven't even talked about it yet.
Right? Well, it's been nice to be here for
any new tanks you like?
Oh, man. It's really nice to have the Dragonwagen.
The Dragonlance
Sea. Yeah. I mean, I can't speak Swedish, but I imagine that's exactly how you pronounce that. And, that's been really fun just to... I mean, I feel like a tank destroyer, honestly.
It does. I was playing it myself, and it feels like a Canonian Jagdpanzer 105 with a turret.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's really great. And we had a game with the Rheinmetall Borsig. Actually, the Iron Rain, I believe they call it. Yeah, the autoloader. That was really fun, being able to spot for you, but then just come back and be basically, a tank destroyer alongside you. It was very fun. Good map, good game. I mean, we lost, but it was still lots of fun, for sure.
It was fun, yeah. It was an unfortunate one super team didn't do much, but you know what? That's the state of the game. Yeah. But I had an instance. I was like, you know what? I really want to 3-mark my Super Conqueror, but I don't want to do it now with all the 279Es. And then was it you who said, we'll just load premium?
I may have suggested that.
He said, just load premium.
And then it was like a light bulb came in your eyes.
Ding! All right, sure, I'll try.
There we go.
So I load straight premium 35 APCR shells, 5 red shells. First game, 8,000 damage.
It was so disgusting. I just saw you just, boo,
Pen. The game was easy mode. I can't believe. Where has this been all my life?
That tank has such high DPM. Like it's
and
insane.
turret armor and gun handling.
Yeah.
And then you think that's enough. No, I played it again, got Ravaged Capital 10,000 damage. I've only done 10,000 damage once in my life, and I had to work so hard for it. That was the easiest 10,000 damage I've ever done.
The easiest 10,000 damage I've ever done was with the E100, and
And you're platoon with Cozy Dread.
Was it Cozy Dread or was it?
It was Cozy Dread. You have a picture. It
was
of it.
Cozy Dread.
He was in his Waffling 100.
Yeah,
we both
and
broke
we both.
10K.
I think I hit 11 and he hit 10 or something.
It was just disgusting. 2-man platoon doing like 21,000 damage. I've never seen anything like it.
It was really fun, and it helps when there was like 3 Waffen Trigger E100s, and I may have used HE quite a bit that game. It was really fun. That was really fun. But yeah, 10K damage is nothing to knock at all. That was.
I don't
really
know.
fun.
That'll be a video. Maybe it's already a video. Who knows when this gets published?
Yeah, who knows. But then you also had to just break out a 9-kill game with your tier 6, live.
Oh yeah, while I was recording
live,
and those games were literally right before the Conqueror game. I played those 2 games, and then my very next game was in the Conqueror.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I had 8 kills, 4 kills, and 9 kills.
Yeah, that was the time. That was
a good time to be alive.
That was
21 kills in 3 games.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
it's nice to break it up from all the bad RNG and artillery strikes and all that stuff.
Okay.
This update is insane. 12.4?
4.12.
4.12?
We had 2 more bugs today. Well, one of them was we tried to queue up, but it wouldn't let us queue up over and over and over again.
Oh, yeah. I thought I was messing it up because it said, your host has already left the party, and I just pressed A. And then all of a sudden we couldn't go in, and it said 0 out of 2. And you kept on pressing buttons and nothing happened. And
so I would dismiss it. I tried to dismiss it. I couldn't even dismiss the platoon. I'm like, I'm going to reset the platoon. I'm going to deselect my tank. I couldn't do that. I was stuck with my tank selected, and we couldn't go into the queue. So then I'm just like, okay, whatever. And we were just sitting like, what do we do? I guess I'm going to restart my game. And then it put us in queue.
Boom. And then, guess what? 750 people in queue all at the same time. Never seen that many people in queue at the same time. There was like how many tier 10s? There was like 150.
There was like 150, and then there was like 100 tier 9s, and there was almost 200 tier 8s and 120 tier 7s, and barely any 6s. Who cares about those?
That's like a severe drop off right there.
Yeah, it's like who cares about low tiers?
Hey, there was 5 tier 1s. That was pretty.
And
cool.
it wasn't us, and it was the whole game itself. The queue broke apparently because people in the Discord were talking about it.
They all came at the same time, like
yeah, and then it kicked us after about 10 seconds. It's like, you've been in the queue too long. So queue time ran out. I've been in here for 10 seconds. Boom, we got kicked, and then we were able to join normally.
Back in my day, closed beta. You sat in queue sometimes for 3 minutes, and it lets you sat in there. Let you sit in there, and then actually at the 3-minute mark, it just puts you in whatever other tanks were in queue at the time. So it was not uncommon for you at a tier 10 game, you and somebody else versus one other person.
And that one other person is a tier 6.
No, tier 10s.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, would that ever happen? You have a tier 6 versus a tier 10 1v1.
Actually, yeah. If something crazy like the queue happens, it will just do whatever it can do just to throw someone.
It sounds like
back in the day.
The super test. So how the super test server works is they select people to be part of super test. I'll never be part of that because they hate me.
Oh,
I know.
Wait, they have a console super test?
Mm-hmm. It's very small, very limited.
Wow. And
how they test tanks is, okay, today you're going to be testing this tank. Everybody gets to play the same tank, and then it's a 4 versus 4 with the same tank.
Huh.
How does that test a tank?
Well, you see.
It doesn't make any sense. You got to test against other tanks. But that's how the super test works. I've got people in super test who tell me about that. It's like, yeah, this is how it works. They don't tell me what tanks they're testing, but they tell me how it works. And it's like, that doesn't seem like a good way to do it. If I was wargaming, what I would do is I would have the ability to play any tank you want in the war stories. And they're like, yeah, but you're fighting AI. Yes, but you can still, if you just played a game in the IS-4, in the war stories, you can play that same level and try it in a different tank. Then you can gauge how well you're doing in that tank. Then you can gauge how much better that tank performs, even if it is against AI. That's a better way of doing it than having it go up against itself.
Imagine this Object 279E for everyone came out.
279 everyone.
Yeah, it came out.
Except for you.
Except for me. It's fine. Whatever. How they tested it, just imagine. They all like, oh, yes, it's so great. They all face up against each other. No one can pen each other. excellent. Everyone will love this tank.
How did they get past super test?
And then
who are the super testers who are this dumb? Who does? So I don't know if super test is even listened to. Like, do they play the tank and say, hey, listen, this tank isn't working. This tank is too good. You can't pen it with standard rounds. Anywhere. And do the super testers complain about this and let them know? Or is Wargaming, and does Wargaming listen to that? Or does Wargaming just ignore them, and is there any point to super test? Because if the super testers have a say, how did this get through?
Well, maybe they just pressed A.
Maybe they just pressed A. That's not how you solve problems.
Well, apparently it is.
It is. Okay. Oh, and you had a theory, and I had a theory, and
yes.
About the 279E, because it's so split between who likes it and who hates it.
I've noticed it. It's like some people are like, it is absolute trash. Don't even buy it. I sold mine already. Blah blah blah.
And some people are like, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Best tank. They're like, ooh, 6,000 damage blocked with like a strong fist emoji. It's like, okay.
And we say it's probably because it's easy to play, so the bad players love it.
Simple as that.
Everyone's got it. The good players don't enjoy it as much because it doesn't reward skill. It requires no skill. They're angling, they're side scraping, they're getting hauled down, they're using gun depression, trying to use gun depression, and they're getting penned by heat rounds, premium rounds, and it's not fun to play as a good player. You want to play a tank that rewards your knowledge, that rewards your skill. This tank doesn't.
Right, and in fact, it actually just goes against all logic, because bad players, well, they don't side scrape a corner, they just go around it. And what's the first thing that goes around the corner? It's just the tip of the tank, which you can't penetrate, and you can't penetrate its tracks or solar plate. So they're fine. They're like this tank is like a walking army all by itself. If it has like a narrow point of view, no one else is around. It just, you face it front on. There's nothing you can do about that. I mean, so these bad players love that feeling. Like, they are able to YOLO one person and be totally fine.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, that's our theory on it. And everyone's complaining that it gets ammo rack too much, and I say it's a free tank.
Yeah.
You need a weakness. That's your weakness. Enjoy it.
Boom.
And the fact that you can get penned by premium rounds.
And I love ammo racking those things. It's so much fun.
It's a constant, dude.
Yeah.
It's pretty much every game you see a turret pop. If there's why did you do this? It's like, what's that noise? There we go.
I threw tab because I realized you probably were chewing.
I was.
Oh dear.
What were we talking about again?
Well, we were going to talk about how. Here's a story.
Okay.
Just today, I was playing in this LT 132.
432.
432. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
On it's the map that was designed for like when D-Day happened. It's
Overlord.
Overlord. There we go. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I got
this will be a video. Don't you worry.
I hurt quite a bit. It was quite for the intro maybe.
No, a whole video, because that was an ace for me.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's going to be awesome. Maybe intro my thing, and then we just... anyways.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And this bulldog, but it's not a bulldog. It's like a black bulldog.
It's a black dog, they call it. It's the Holland Hound.
Holland Hound, that's right. And that has a derp gun, correct? Or like
no, it's at a 90mm.
It is a 9mm.
It's a normal AP gun.
Well, I was under 100 HP, so easy one shot. I come around a corner, didn't realize he was there, so I take a quick snapshot, and I hit him, and I got his ammo rack, but he was fine. So he just starts coming at me because he's at full health besides that one shell I put into him. And I back up a little bit, and I thought for sure he was just going to nail me right as he comes right across the corner. Well, turns out, second shell, hits in the ammo rack, boom. two shells did over, 1,100. Yep. Man, that was the best feeling in the world. Except for right as that moment happened, the turret is flying towards my tank. And it's coming directly for me.
It's like a helicopter.
Yeah,
and it goes straight up. It goes the highest. I've never seen a turret go so high before.
So high.
And so it gave him plenty of time to move out of the way.
He's
like, that turret's got to land on me.
I was like, turn. Abort mission, abort.
And at the same time, actually, after this happens, I got to shoot the back of a chieftain 3 times.
Yes.
And my turtle for 1,800 damage. And he never even spotted me. Because those bushes he was in were huge.
Yeah, these new tanks that came out since I haven't been playing is insane. They got like these mercenary tanks, which they're just like, you can't do this. You can't just take different tanks and put them all together and just call it a new tank and be like, yes, we are different now.
Aha. And just to add insult to injury, we add space armor that you cannot pen.
Yeah, what's up with that? Like, you're showing me this one tank.
The Absolution.
The Absolution. That is insanity. Why would you ever put like
Can
a
you
gridlock
imagine
on the side?
an M103 fighting that? Just think about that. There's no hope in the world. Sorry, M3 Lee.
Okay.
M3 Lee.
I was about to say, like, it's a tier 9. I understand what you're saying.
The absolution should be put at tier 10 if an M3 Lee can't kill
That's why I paused for so long. I was like, you know
Are
what?
you drunk?
You know, I'm thinking maybe he's thinking if you hit, like, the bars, he has no chance of penetrating.
Well,
which I agree with.
He has no chance. Because I was in the Dreadnought. He and I were trying to clutch a side, and he comes out broadside on. I'm like, aha! Execution, Duke! Bounce. Broadside.
GG. Good game, Wargaming. That's
like,
good.
Nice. And you think, oh, well, you know, it's an absolution, whatever. But then I was fighting against a Dreadnought in my Minuteman on that highway map. And I'm like, oh, it's a Dreadnought. Let's see if he's firing AP. I broadside up to him. Space Star bounces twice.
Nice.
He bounced. 16 seconds later, he bounces again. It's like, okay. This is fair.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to play those tanks and just, you know, not care. But that's so bad for the game.
It is bad for the game.
You know, tanks have strong points
and weaknesses.
And weaknesses. It's so important.
And I call those dumb armor because they don't require skill to use. You just pray that they don't shoot you in a place they can pen you when you play them. You play them, you're like, I hope they don't hit me in where my space armor isn't today. And you pull it out and you do that. And then when you're shooting at them, you're like, I hope I don't hit them in their space armor today.
Yeah, because a lot of it isn't even up to you because this update is insane with the RNG as far as where your shells go.
My favorite one so far was the one on the Yahtzee while you were in your Minuteman. So there's this Yahtzee in front of us. AK and I fire about the same time, relatively the same time.
How far away do you think this was? Like 200 meters?
He's about 200 meters away from you, about 150 from me. I stop to aim. Fully aim at his lower plate. He's moving on the move. You don't even aim at him.
I don't even.
He points his gun in his general direction. His cursor is off his tank. Boom, straight into his lower plate. I'm sitting there, fully aimed, lower plate, 150 meters away, up into his upper plate. Like, okay, fine. And it was about the same time.
Yep.
And I have that. I think I might have that clipped.
Yeah, you may have clipped that.
I may have clipped that. I may not have clipped that. Maybe I'll use it sometime on the channel. And it's just like perfect representation of 4.12. Now that we've, talked about interesting things in the game, we talked about 279E, what's relative right now in the world of tanks. You probably want to know, okay, how can we become a better player? Because I want this to be a learning experience. I think every time we'll talk about some kind of mechanic in the game and that sort of thing. But right now I want to just talk about the general gameplay, things you need to learn and you need to improve to become a better player.
Besides pressing A, you mean?
Believe it or not, besides pressing A.
Wow. Teach us. What do you have in your mind for as far as bushes? Have you talked about bushes?
We'll get into that. We'll get to that.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So, 10 simple tricks to make you a better tanker.
You told me about this, yes.
I was telling you about this. Yeah, I do have a list here.
Yep.
And number 1 is shoot to kill.
Shoot to kill.
Shoot to kill.
Yep.
Time after time, especially Unicums, I'm calling you guys out. They shoot for damage.
Yep.
Like, I'm trying to 3-marker. I'm trying to find my W and A. Yep. I'm going to go for damage. I'm in a Patton. I have 390 Alpha. I can shoot this E100, who's full health. Or I can shoot this Batchat, who's a one-shot for me. He's only got 150 health. I don't want to do 150 damage. I want to do 390 to the E100. Shoots the E100, Batchat gets away, and he goes kill someone else on your team.
Yep.
No. If you can kill a tank, kill a tank. The only time maybe you don't want to do that is if you're in your Death Star. If you're in your Death Star and you have support, you probably don't want to do that. You probably want to shoot the E100. But if you're by yourself in your Death Star, you do still want to shoot the kill.
Absolutely.
Every gun out of the game.
Every gun matters.
Every gun matters.
1 HP is still a gun that's around that could kill you or kill a teammate and lose the game for you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. So make sure you shoot to kill, guys.
Which sounds pretty basic, but it is somehow not very relevant for a lot of people. Like, especially targeting and zoning out people. If you're making a push around a corner, it's good to target someone, and then everyone needs to agree upon, like, yes, we're going to kill this guy first.
Why was Zeta Squad able to take down Immortals? Years and years and years ago. No, it was 7F.
Yeah.
Or what?
Both
NL.
We took them all out eventually.
Yeah, we took them all out. It was because we were really good at focus firing. We would just pick E50s and T10s. You remember? And we would just zerg.
Yep.
And you were in there 432, and we would just push them. We didn't care. We were like, okay, we're just gonna charge them, YOLO them, and we're just gonna focus fire. Whatever target we call, we're gonna shoot. And that's what we did. And because we were always the aggressive one, we always knew. We already had a plan. We're like, okay, as soon as we go around the corner, this is the guy we want to focus out first. They don't expect that. As soon as we go around the corner, there's a little bit of chaos on their side. Like, oh, who do we shoot? They don't have a plan yet as to who to focus out first. And because of that, we always had to jump on them.
Yep.
And that's why Zeta Squad did so well in competitive modes, even though our team at the time wasn't full of Super Unicums. You were the only Super Unicum at the time.
That's insane.
I wasn't even a Unicum yet.
I remember for the team competition medals, you just like, all right, AK, you do whatever you do. Everyone else, follow me.
Follow me. Let's go. And it seemed to work.
Yep.
So yeah, and that's very important. Competitive is very important in the regular game mode. And what's great about competitive is, guys, if you ever get into competitive, you will learn this rather quickly, because in competitive gameplay, you play in the team training, meaning there's no W-Nate, there's no experience to be gained, no silver to be gained, no marks of excellence to be gained. It's all about winning.
Yep.
And I really like that element of the game, because everyone's trying their best to win. So everyone's playing mostly properly.
This is what
competitive.
Competitive, really?
Yeah. So
like ranked?
WNF, no, not ranked. Like WNF fights, they play it in the team training room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then we did WCL.
Yep.
That's what we did. Yeah.
Very cool.
And then the only time you might not want to shoot to kill is, let's say you have a Jagdpanzer E100. Mm-hmm. That's full health for you.
Okay.
Or a Tiger 2 who's half health.
Mm.
And you're in a tier 10. You'd probably want to shoot the Jagdpanzer E100. The Tiger 2 isn't a threat to you sometimes.
If you're in a heavy tank especially, he might not really be a threat to you
and
at all.
You realize your team will probably shoot him, because people see Tiger 2 and they think, Pinata.
Juice.
I'm going to shoot him if I'm at a tier 10. So maybe that's the only time you might want to not shoot to kill, but instead prioritize more dangerous guns, which is point number 2. Prioritize the more dangerous guns.
Yep.
And we're going to go right back into it. We're going to go to a full health scenario. Indian Panzer, Leopard 1. Shoot the Leopard 1.
Yep.
Shoot the Leopard 1. Simple as that.
It is.
And that's exactly, once again, in competitive. We have a lot of times IS-7s and WZ-111 5As are played. Mm-hmm. We are going to shoot and kill the 5As first. There's 2 reasons for that. The first one is the 5A has more DPM than the IS-7, so you want to kill those first. Mm-hmm. The second reason, it also has less health. Mm-hmm. So you kill them faster. And there's actually a third reason, and that's because it has less armor. And so if you can kill the easier tank
more consistently,
you'll get that gun out faster.
Yep. The more dangerous gun. And, you brought up something that came to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I find it all too often in just your multiplayer games that people love to, kill the easy targets, and the people who, aren't even... Like, that's what makes fighting a low tier sometimes so annoying, because if you try to go to the front line, you'll be targeted because you're so easy to kill. And I've seen so many people, Zerg, me and you, come up over hills, come behind corners, just to finish us off or do some extra damage they know they can hit into us, but they lose the game. Mm-hmm. They die, they lose it for their team, and even if we die early on, they basically gave up their position in the whole game in general.
Like the game of Nomenhan.
Yeah.
Where we kept getting YOLO'd by tanks. And they kept...
But our team, right after we die, is able just to carry it on. Just pass the torch on to them.
So, like, if you die, guys, right away, but you're able to take 3 guys with you, you've done your job. If your team loses at that point, it's their fault. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
But even if it's not you taking them out, you drew them out of their cover, and they chose to die, basically, to kill you. So it works.
The next one, step 3, or another trick. Mm-hmm. It still stays in line with the other 2. Shoot what you can penetrate. Once again, we're going to take the course of you being bottom tier. A lot of these are relative to bottom tier tanks, and that's what I really like. These are simple tricks you can take in your bottom tier tanks. Yet again, let's pretend you're in a Tiger 2. You have in front of you, neither of these guys are hull down. They're both facing you. They're both angled. You have a Super Conqueror, and you have an E100. I'm going to shoot the Super Conqueror all day in my Tiger 2. Yeah. If you're shooting the E100, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. I mean, you could penetrate.
You could if you're shooting premium, yes. Yeah. If you're not shooting premium, Super Conqueror all day.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the same thing for everything. You have a hull down Jagdpanzer E100, or you have this Leopard 1 over there. I'm going to shoot the Leopard 1. But oftentimes people keep shooting the hull down tanks, and then the Leopard 1's allowed to support.
Yeah.
And you don't want
focus.
That. Don't tunnel. Oh man, that's another one that should be on here. Yeah. Which I'm going to say, don't tunnel vision. Yeah. But everybody knows that, so that's why I don't have this on this list. Is you can say that a million times.
I still struggle with tunnel visioning. It's a constant thing.
And I blame it on the square map for you. I'll I'll see someone on your. It's hard to gauge on the square map how far away people are from you, and where they are relative to your position. And I have a lot of super unicums who agree that the small one is better. Of course, it's all preference. So if you want to use a square one, that's fine. But don't go out saying, "Hey, you use a circle map, you're bad at the game." Hey, you use a square map, you're bad at the game. That's just not. That's not true at all. However, if you use the rotating square
you are
map,
bad at the game.
Step number 4 is literally look at your minimap a lot.
Oh wow, we really transitioned.
Yeah, we transitioned.
We're so good at this game. The call podcast.
Yeah, look at your minimap. Whenever you're not fighting somebody, look at your minimap.
Oh yeah.
Before you go into battle, look at your minimap. When the game is loading up, look at your minimap. When you've just won your flank, look at your minimap.
Yep.
In between shots, look at your minimap.
This is the one thing I wish that we had from PC, from the mod XVM. It tells you exactly the last known location of tanks.
That's no longer a mod, actually. It's in vanilla now.
It's in vanilla. Oh,
yeah.
for the game itself. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. That's awesome. And see that I wish they would. Hopefully they'll put that in the next update. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm being hopeful.
They said they can't fit anything more. They wanted to do that, but they can't fit anything more because of 360.
Well, they need to stop saying that because I know they can do it. Simple as that.
Okay.
It's an excuse. And so if they're able to have that on the minimap, you would be able to know. Maybe they'll give you some more information as to where the people are if you weren't paying attention. But we don't have that luxury, so that's why you need to pay attention to where your tanks
and
are.
That's the disadvantage right there of the circle map. Is it's hard to remember where people were with the circle map because if they're not within your 400 meter radius or diameter, you can't see them because the circle map is 200 in radius.
Yep. But you've gotten very good at just being able to click
the back one. I always, whenever when I'm in the middle of a fight, I am not touching my back button. No. I'm fighting. As soon as I'm done with that, I can look at my minimap because guess what? I'm not fighting anymore. I have time to do that.
Yep.
So that's what I do there. And speaking of maps, Wargaming console. I'm sorry, I'm going to be dissing them again. My apologies. A couple of years ago, they said they can't add any more maps because they reached their 50 gigabyte limit on the game, and they're not allowed to go any further than that.
That's embarrassing.
And they said, we can't add any more maps, so if you want any more maps, we'll have to remove some to add the other ones. Then a couple of years later, in fact about a year ago, they said, guess what, we no longer have that limit. We upgraded our servers, and in our terms with Microsoft, we can have as much data as we want.
Whoa.
We can add as many maps as we want. And then in a recent stream, people were asking about new maps. And, sorry, we can't fit anymore. I remember the other stream where you said you can fit as many as you can, so Wargaming, why aren't you adding more maps? Why aren't you making new maps? We know you're lying to us.
Well, here's the deal. Maybe they should give it a break because the last maps from what I've seen are huge
and terrible,
gigantic maps.
They give such a disadvantage to heavies, and then on the city maps they decide
every tank.
To every tank. Yeah. And they have bumps so that light tanks get messed up. It's like
I don't understand the bumps.
Already loves it.
Yeah,
and that's about it.
Yeah. It's so interesting to me because I feel like map making should be so much easier than they make it look. Because think of Himmelsdorf. There's basically a place for everything to go. Even artillery can try to find some use there. They have the upper hill for light tanks and medium tanks. They got down below for plenty of heavy tanks and tank destroyers.
All the choke points you already can hit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and the map is made to flow and have it there's even the far west side of Himmelsdorf where you have that big open field, essentially with the train tracks and all that stuff, and these are all old maps I'm listening. Mines, there's a central hill. These are not complicated things that they're just choosing to try to be cool or something, I guess, to make really cool looking maps. We don't want cool looking maps. We want functional maps. Maps are okay. I feel like going into this map, I have a place where my tank can go and feel comfortable and like you said, heavy tanks that can't move very fast, like T-95. What is a T-95 supposed to do on a gigantic map where there is no cover from artillery, and whatever flank you choose to go on, you are dedicating your whole
life to that.
Yeah.
And if you don't go that way, then you're going to be camping your base for 7 minutes while you wait for your team to either win or lose, and then either you do something or you do nothing.
Yeah. And it's none of these huge maps are city maps. They're all gigantic open maps where people are
That might be a cool one, though. A really giant city map with corridors everywhere.
It's a cool idea.
Cool idea, but that would be terrible. It'd be cool, but it would be terrible for the game.
Absolutely. Yeah. People would be very frustrated with that.
I would be frustrated with that.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool looking.
Yeah. Even, I mean, I still struggle sometimes with like the Paris map. That one seems a little bit funky to me.
It does.
Kinda
It's
quirky.
better than PCs. I'll admit that. That was back when Wargaming console would always ever so slightly change their maps from time to time when they got introduced, and they always seem to be a little bit better, and that one's one of them. The Brawl Zone where the heavies are is definitely better because there's more places you can hide and go hold down and be funky, and then where the mediums fight out in the field, it's not one hill with a bush, open field. It's not that. There's ridges all throughout it, and then there's this cool little pass you can go underneath the ground.
Yeah, and that's cool.
That's cool, and that gives so many different things you can do, so much revenue, so much... That is cool. Like, that's a well-done map. Even though I don't like it that much, it's done well.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's done well. And a map that's not done well, and it's not even a console map, is Highway. And I'll tell you why.
Oh, really?
I'm going to give you my opinion on Highway, and I hope you agree. Or you don't have to agree, but I'll try to make my points. First of all, it's corner to corner. I never liked corner to corner maps because if you almost have no say in the game. If you win your flank and the other team wins their flank, it's a race to get back to your base.
Yeah, or capture them.
Or capture their base, and I hate that.
It's been around for a long time.
That.
Yeah.
And that's not the main reason. The other reason is you have about 80% of the map, which is unplayable. It's the field.
No man's land in the middle.
No man's land. Nobody goes there. So the map is played the same way. You either go right or you go left. There's two ways to play the game. Right flank, left flank.
Unless you're like a light tank, then you can kind of peruse.
Kind of do that, but you saw last time when I did that, it was just as soon as their light tank did the same thing, we both kill each other.
Well, the way the river flows kind of makes it even more of a duality. I feel like if suddenly that ridge were to not, instead of it going from like east to west, if it went from north to south, you could use much more of the middle because you'd have cover.
You're right, the north side has the advantage because of the river. They can use the river and go into those bushes. Yeah. The south side, which is where I was playing from,
has a disadvantage because
we don't have a river to use or anything like that. You've got to race for a bush and hope you get there before they even get somebody down at the bottom. Yeah. So yeah, but that's I don't like those maps where there's so much area that you just can't use. Thiepval Ridge is another prime example. Nobody goes to no man's land, and it's literally no man's land. Thiepval Ridge, they literally have World War I no man's land there, and you don't go there, you die. I have some fun strategies on there where I can use no man's land, but a lot of people don't, and it's just, once again, you go right or you go left, and it's corner to corner 1200 by 1200 map.
Think Maravenka, the huge open map with the hill on the top.
Malinovka.
Malinovka, my bad. Malinovka. That's probably like my favorite map.
That's a better one, yeah. Even though there is a no man's land, it's smaller and you can go around it on multiple angles.
Exactly. It's no man's land, but it's like it's built to be contained to no man's land and to be like a specific area of interest. And when the game started, or when it first came out, the cap circles were not where they are now.
No, they were 400 meters apart.
They were literally right across no man's land from each other. It was hilarious and awesome because T-95s. They're already there.
They just YOLO. They're like, all right, I'm crossing.
It was so much more fun that way. Now you got like this corner to corner, and no one really cares. The base doesn't really matter, and that kind of brings me up to like another kind of rant tangent where I find console games go by so fast, much faster than PC.
It's because, for some reason, console's in this mindset of, I gotta get my damage, I gotta get my WNA, I gotta get my ace tankers, I gotta get, I gotta win, I gotta damage, I need my WNA. Everybody on console is obsessed with WNA, and I know they're on PC as well, but because PC has such a larger pool of players, not everybody knows about WNA or cares about WNA. Console is such a small community, everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows about WNA, everybody knows about Marks of Excellence, and it seems like everybody's going for that. And so the players who want their WNA or Marks of Excellence are aggressive or super passive to farm when their team loses. I hate that. Don't play like that. And because players are aggressive, they either win really quickly or die right off the bat, and then that makes it so the other team either loses quickly or wins quickly. And it's very aggressive for that very reason. People keep saying, "Oh, it's a different game." That's why the games go different. It's a different game from PC. It really isn't a different game from PC. It's just a different mindset.
Yeah. And I'd much rather play the console version than the PC version, honestly. And I have a different opinion on it, where I think it's just a different crowd of people. I think a lot of people are used to shooter games that are like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. These very quick, you spawn in, you go fight the best you can, you die, and then you go back to your rush. It's gonna, there's a lot of strategies and cool things that can be done when you just choose to be calm and wait it out and all these things, and let the timer go and see what happens, and then make plays and stuff like that. Instead, I see a lot of, here's our flank, we are going, and like there is nothing stopping this train. Even if we're losing this flank, people will still sacrifice their lives on it. I've been there, done that. Obviously, we all have, but realizing when it's a good time to back off is really nice.
And that is a perfect transition to our next point.
Really,
I'm gonna go into it now because he's talking about now going places. I'm gonna go here. I went there last time, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
If it didn't work well last time, try something different. I hate people who say, okay, and I have a perfect example. There was a Conway on my team. He went beach. He was top tier. He was one of 2 tier 9s.
Wow. Man, I love to be that
Overlord. Conway. And he went beach.
What?
Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, we had such a disadvantage. They already had 3 tier 9s on their team. And I was like, oh, compared to our 2, so we already had a disadvantage. But the game was so close. We got it down to a 1 versus 3. It was him. Oh. And I don't usually send messages, but I did. And I asked him, why did you go beach? And I said, why did you go beach? That's not the play for this map. And, you don't say that to people. They get mad at you for that. He was very mad. He's like, what do you mean? Beach is where I always go. And it doesn't always work, but I do win from beach. Beach is the best place to go. And I was like, oh no, he's one of those. Guys, if you've done something, and it does work, but then it doesn't work, even every other time, it's the wrong play. Because that means it's only working 50% of the time. That means you have a 50% win rate, which means you are completely...
That's tomato.
Completely average. Yeah. Completely. 50%. If something is working 1 every 2 times, it's not the right play.
I guarantee it's probably not working.
And it's probably not working 1 out of 2 times. Yeah. I had somebody tell me, oh, if it works 1 out of 5 times, I'm going to continue to do it. If it works 1 out of 5 times, that's a 20% success rate.
Yeah.
No. No, if it doesn't work, try something different. If you find a strategy that's working 6 out of 10 times, even that's better.
Let me give you an example for this. Himmelsdorf, the hill. Most times, I love to go hill. That is my favorite place to go, is the hill. It's the place I'm most, experienced in. But at the beginning of the game, that annoying timer that, why does it tick down so long? Is it just for people to connect? No, it's also for you to take time to formulate a strategy. And I look at my team list, and I look at the enemy team list, and I say, the enemy team has literally 5 extra medium tanks than I do. We have more heavy tanks, which means we will probably push and beat Banana, and they will probably push and beat the hill. And I'm in a medium tank, and I like to go hill. So instead of me yelling across the hill, I'll usually try to spot the hill and then run away, or not even go hill if I realize that there's no chance at all for me to take hill. And that's one example of looking at the team list, seeing what tanks are playing, and then choosing, hey, I'm not going to go this way. I'm going to try something different. And I know it's scary to use different maps and try to go different places and stuff like that, but, this is why it's important to stick with your team, look at YouTubers and just experience new places of the map, see how well you can do, and, be creative instead of just picking the same place to go every single time per map.
It's true. And if you ever watch my live streams, you know that a lot of times I'm going to be like, well, I'm bored, I'm going to try this. And I try it, and it doesn't work. And the chat's like, you idiot, or whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, a lot of them are like, hey, you tried, and I'll explain, hey, guys, I tried that. I'm not going to do that next time. But I wanted to try it. There you go. I tried it for you, so you don't have to. And I say that a lot of the time in the stream. But then sometimes I'll try something, and then suddenly, oh, my goodness, I just got a Riley Walters on stream. And they're like, whoa, I need to, people in the chat are like, I need to try that next time. I need to try that next time. For something to be discovered, someone has to discover it.
Mm-hmm. Whoa.
Duh.
Whoa, you're blowing my mind.
I know. Duh. And this transitions to the next one. If it worked well last time, try it again.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. Hey, it worked. Let me try it again. But I don't mean that one that you've tried 6 times, failed 6 times, finally succeeded on the 7th time. You're like, hey, succeed. Let me try it again. No. I mean ones like you've tried something new. Hey, it worked last time. Let's try it again. Was it a fluke? Or can I do it again? And if it fails, try it one more time. Will it work? Won't it work? And yeah, this is how you formulate strategies. People are telling me, I want map reviews. I keep getting told by people that they want map reviews on maps. It's very hard to do map reviews because the maps are random in queue. So it's difficult for me to kind of go, okay, in this game I got this map. And so what I would have to do is...
Team training.
And, that takes time. And, maps I choose, if I use the regular queue, would kind of be random. Like, okay, what map did I get 6 times the other day? And then I would have to record every single game I ever played, and I would run out of storage on my hard drive, because I don't know which maps are going to come up in the queue. So that's why I haven't been doing map reviews, guys. So there's that. But yeah, by trying what you tried last time is a perfect way of learning maps. Like, here's a prime example. You were in your 430U, and you were on Mountain Pass, and you were fighting against a chief and a super conqueror, and you're side-scraping the rock on Mountain Pass as they were coming towards your base. And I told you, hey, there's a ridge right up there you can get to, and you'll be held down. You remember that?
Yeah.
And
I was like, cool.
That's because I had tried that one time before, and it worked.
Yeah.
And so I told him about it. And how did I learn that position on a map without watching a map review? Because I tried it.
Yep.
And that's how.
And it did work. It did work.
It did work.
It did work.
It did work. So there's that. Another one. Stay with an ally.
This is where... Yep. So, there's a difference between staying with an ally and lemon training somewhere. Following everyone, naturally. But, I would rather you lemon train...
Lemming
train, sorry.
You're welcome. Don't worry about it.
Lemons fall off a cliff too.
I was working on the railroad the other day, and I was up there with my friend Percy, and he was like, hey, the lemon train's coming in today. The lemon train. And I was like, really, Percy? The lemon train's today? I thought that was next week. He said, no, that's today. And it rolled in. It was actually the orange train. I was right. He was wrong.
The orange train.
Yeah, it was the orange train. All the lemons went the same way.
No,
they all went the same way. And I was like, well, that's not the right train there.
Let me tell you about the lemon train right now.
Oh, yeah, you tell me about the lemon train.
Okay. So I'd rather you lemon train, all of you group up and go in one direction, than you just go off by yourself and die. Because you're probably going to the same place you always go, right? Which goes back to our last point, You stay with an ally. You guys are more powerful together. Stick together. Use teamwork. It's great. Sometimes it's terrible because they push you out. But sometimes it's not. It's not like that. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes you make a new friend, and then you message them, and you say GG, and then become lifelong friends with them.
That's how License to Kill.
That's how you find so many people.
I love License to Kill. Wait, he and I play Minecraft now together. I bought him an Xbox One.
Whoa.
Because we in a game worked together to push. I said it was a tortoise last time, but it was actually AT-15.
Okay.
We were on Old Dragon's Ridge, where there was just a sheer cliff on the right side of the map, and we were like, uh-oh. We were getting slaughtered by this AT-15 because he was shooting his premium rounds, and we were low on health, and we're just like, I've got an idea. So I roll up to him and start pushing on him, and the T-10 comes up behind me, and he starts pushing me and pushing onto him, helping me out, and we push him off the cliff, and he dies. And then we were like, hey, let's join parties. We joined parties, became friends, he joined Zeta Squad, and I bought him an Xbox One.
Boom. See? Working and sticking together with your allies gets you free things. Confirmed.
No, but after that we became really good friends, and we played for years and years. His Xbox stopped working. He was like, well, I'm not going to be able to play with you guys anymore. And I'm just like, you know what?
Yeah. And we were able to find so many people. Like Rage Adrenaline we found because he was just playing artillery, and we were playing artillery.
E75. It was E75.
He was E75?
Yep.
You're right.
He was in his E75?
Oh, we saw multiple games. We saw him E75 and artillery. Yeah, this was a long time ago. Good times.
You should face the mic.
Hello, Mike. Goodbye, Mike. I'm facing this way now.
You're gonna sound so distant.
I am always distant. Anyways, what is that the last? Is that 10?
No, that's not that. That's not nowhere near 10. But to go along with that one, because we were kind of talking about it, this is just a bonus one. This isn't part of this.
Ooh, bonus.
But he was just, he's talking about lemming trains and how if you go off by yourself and die, what's the point of that? And yeah, he's absolutely right. Bonus, how to get better at the game is, you're no good to your team dead.
Plain and simple.
I'm not even going to get into that. Literally, if you're dead, you do nothing. There you go. Congratulations. If you're dead, you're not shooting. All right. Next one is 8. Number 8. Any cover is better than no cover. Oh, so many times I see tanks sitting out in the open. Like heavy tanks. Like, what are you doing? There's a rock next to you. There's a little rock next to you. Any cover is better than no cover. Don't sit out in the open. Even moving.
Yeah.
makes you a harder target. Don't stand out in the open to aim. Find cover. Go for cover. As soon as you, hey, I'm spotted.
Yep.
Let me go find cover. Don't be, oh, I'm spotted. Let me sit here and continue to aim. Or, oh, I'm spotted. Yeah. Where is he? Yeah. I can't see him.
No, I know this goes into one of your other points later on, but it's what people, they see a target, they stop, they want to aim in all the way so that they make sure they hit their shot. Mm-hmm. Cool. No, don't do that. You see so many people with those random clips where shells magically go where they go. That happens. So just auto-aim, zoom in while you're still moving, fire the shell. If you miss, you miss. If you hit, you hit. You miss every shell you don't shoot. And at least you're doing that not because you're trying to hit the person, but because you're trying to get into a better position so that you can be safe while you're shooting them.
A key position is far more important than an early shot.
That's so true. Right?
There are different certain tanks which are allowed to take those early shots. Your tank destroyers specifically, I think, are allowed to take those shots, like a Death Star. Absolutely. If you've got a Death Star, as long as you're not in a position where you're going to get spotted and shot, go ahead and take that early shot. Try to knock out their light tank. Try to knock out their idiot heavy. Whatever's going on, whoever's spotted, sure, fine by it. In fact, the tank destroyer's job is to support the light tanks. And so if you have a suiciding light tank and you have the ability to support him, may as well. You know, he's going to get killed, but maybe I can get an early shot. If you're a heavy tank, just let the light tank die. He's going to suicide. Continue to your position. Get to your positions, your better positions than the enemy before they do, and have an advantage.
Yep.
And like you said, this is a bonus thing, is you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Most tanks, you have plenty of ammo. If you have a shot, take it.
Yeah.
You never know where it's going to go, where the shell is going to decide to go.
In fact, there's so many shells you aim and they don't go where you want to go.
Yeah, so you know what? If you have a shot, sometimes just take it. Especially earlier in the game. Later in the game, maybe it's, clutch time. You don't want to do that because you want to make sure you're loaded for a sure shot. Yep. But, like, when the game's still 15-15 or 13-13 or still, early. Yeah, just take speculative shots. You never know. You've got time to spare, time to kill, and you'll be surprised how many shots actually hit.
And it makes you happy when it does.
It does.
It makes you very happy.
I had a video in the STA2 where I had mentioned that. I was playing, and I kept just snapping shots, and I pulled off 2 ridiculous shots. But I had missed like 7 or 8 before that. And I mentioned, I'm like, I know showing this video, people are going to say, oh, you have the luck of an RNG, of a Unicum. You're just a Unicum. That's the only reason you hit those shots. And that's how I left it. I let the comment section decide what exactly happened. And I was very surprised, happily surprised, that most of them said, no, it was just because you were firing more often. And one of them said, I have that issue where I don't fire unless I'm pretty sure I'm going to hit. And I was like, wow, he realized. And that means he's getting better at the game. Yeah. Noticing your own mistakes is huge, too. Okay, notice your own mistakes. That's not on the list, but... yeah, that's a big one. Notice your own mistakes. So humble yourself. Humble yourself, guys.
Do it.
It's like, was this my team's fault? Or was it mine? Maybe it was your team's fault, but pretend it was your own and figure it out. But that gets us to number 9. Number 9. Learn to side scrape.
Ooh,
this is like
classic.
Pretty much the number 1.
Yeah. Probably not the most important thing as a tier 1.
No. But side scrape. If you guys... Okay, if you haven't seen it, I want you guys to go to YouTube and look up Sturm VK 36.01H tank review. The reward autumn game tank. Go look up that review. Go watch my gameplay in it. I know this is like, tooting my own horn.
Yeah, right?
But no, go do it. Trust me. You're going to see me in that tank side scraping constantly in it. And it just keeps me alive.
Yeah.
Side scrape. You can side scrape in almost any tank in the game.
In fact, because we're so good at side scraping, we constantly fight over which corners, like we call them. Like, I'm side scraping this corner. You leave me alone.
Because no, I'm in the leopard 1. I get that corner. It's not like that.
No. But no, seriously, like side scraping gives you a huge advantage over any tank that you're side scraping against. I don't care if you're even fighting a tank destroyer. So many tank destroyers think, oh, my gun's big. It'll just go right through. No. Actually, your tracks absorb it. Your side bounces it. It's so easy to juke people.
Shots.
Yeah, bait
and
shots.
sometimes it is impossible for you to shoot back if you're side scraping, and you have to realize that. That's okay. You bait the shot first. Take it into the tracks. If you have repairs, I recommend you get repairs. That should be your second or third skill
toolbox.
every time.
Put that in your equipment, right? every single time.
No, don't do that. No. But if you have repairs, you should be able to beat most people's reloads for your tracks. So you side scrape at a sharp angle. They shoot you, they track you. You wait for it, it goes back up. Then you poke out a little bit further. You fire a shot, and you rinse and repeat.
Boom.
And you have just outplayed whoever that is, and they can't do anything about it. Now, there is overmatching.
There is. But usually that's not the case, and that's more of an advance.
And that's kind of easy to kind of figure out. Should I side scrape with a light tank? No.
Probably
should I
not.
side scrape with a Leopard 1? No. Can I side scrape with a Patton? Yeah. You can side scrape with a Patton. I think that's 76 millimeters of side armor. Right. Easily side scrape with a Patton.
Yeah.
Can I side scrape with a Conqueror? Yes, you can.
Okay, but you need to realize also, like, side scraping with a Leopard is still better than just coming out flush, side on. Because you never know if they'll hit your tracks.
They could still hit your tracks, and it's still, I think it's 35. Meaning if it's a tank with, let's say, that's enough to actually 35. Add that up 3 times, that's a 105. Meaning they need 106. Yeah. So you can actually, in a Leopard 1, side scrape against another Leopard 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
Believe it or not, because of the 3 calibers rule. They need more than 3 calibers. Not 3 calibers, 3 calibers plus. So
some people might not know what that is.
So how overmatching in this game works is if you have 50 millimeters of armor, you will get penned by any gun that has 51 or higher, no matter what. So, and you're like, how do you figure that out? Take 50, multiply it by 3. Anything under that, you can bounce. So anything over that will pen you no matter what.
Okay, I may have thrown you off a little bit. So if you have 51 millimeters of penetration,
you'll
penetrate something with 50 millimeters of.
I'm talking about
penetration.
I'm talking about the overmatching.
Yes, so I'm just breaking it down a little bit.
We'll break it down.
So you have the armor. So you obviously if you have higher penetration than the armor, you go in. Now if you're angled, the degree of angle that you have increases the amount of armor is thickness, just by physics sake, that you have effective against a shell. Now even if your tank is super sharply angled, where you think, that'll bounce off all the time, that's not how this game works. It has the overmatch mechanic where if the caliber of shell is humongous, over 3 times the size of the armor it's hitting,
over 3 times,
it will just go right in. So you're saying if you have 50 millimeters of armor and the caliber is 151 caliber size.
Caliber. Yeah. Thank you.
So like 152 caliber derp gun would be able to overmatch a tank that has 50 millimeters of armor, no matter what degree of
as
angle
long as it's AP or
AP.
APCR.
Yeah, AP or PCR, which normally APCR is not. Generally, maybe sometimes.
I don't think there's a single APCR 152 shell. Maybe.
I don't know.
I can't think of it. There's 155
APCR
APCR on the Americans.
Yep.
And so those can do that, but I chose 50 because it's an easier one to kind of figure out. But yeah, that's how it works. And then there's a 2 calibers rule. I'm not going to get into that right now. Okay, that's more advanced and one that's not as necessary to know.
We should talk about trap shotting. No.
But yeah, the 3 calibers is the more important one to learn right now. And we're almost this video is getting a little long, which is fine.
Where are we at right now?
We're on the last one.
All right, let's go.
The last one is use a bush whenever you can. And whenever you can not be seen, that's the better way to see it. Whenever you cannot be seen, take that opportunity to not be seen. There you go. Because just like the one where we talked about, staying out in the open with your heavy tanks to aim a shot, whatever, or you're spotted. Whenever you're spotted, you should immediately find cover. Sixth sense is so important. I get told by so many players, you don't need sixth sense on your tanks or your heavy tanks.
Who's even saying that?
A lot. It's believed because when somebody points their gun at you, sometimes it says target, but that's not always perfect, and there's a delay on that. And it's like, what if they're not pointing their gun at you? So you could be spotted for 7 minutes straight, and you have no idea.
Take artillery. Artillery usually will point right at you, but sometimes they point behind you because you're on a hill or something, and that's the best way for them to splash by. I've gotten hit because I've been training up sixth sense in my recently new crew in the tank. I get hit by artillery. I'm like, wait, I wasn't detected. How did they hit me? Well, they weren't pointing their cursor directly on me, which is why a lot of times if I see a spotted enemy, I won't point my cursor over them because they will get that detected thing. I will just point it slightly to the right or left so that they don't get highlighted, which means they won't think that they're being looked at right now. It's a different feature from PC. It's a console exclusive, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's way different than Sixth Sense. Because
it is way different than Sixth
console
Sense.
immediately activates.
And even if you're on PC, it's the same thing. You should get Sixth Sense.
Yeah. Even though 6 seconds on PC is delayed by like
It's 3 seconds.
3 seconds?
Yeah, and if you use bonds, it's 2 seconds. But, yeah, like, anytime you have the chance to get into cover or concealment, take it. You know, like, hey, just like one of the last ones we said, any cover is better than no cover. Take it. Camouflage, concealment, cover, 3 different things.
Yeah.
Use them all.
And you'll be so surprised by how bushes are OP.
Some of them are really good. Some of them don't work. And then at the same time, even if your bush isn't working, it hides your weak spots. It meshes your tank all together, and it's really hard to aim at a tank when they're in a bush. And sometimes it's hard to tell if it's their front facing you or their back facing you.
Yeah.
I've had times where I'm just like, oh, I can't pen him. It's an E100. He's facing me. And I'm like, I'm not going to shoot. And then as I roll up to him, I realize, oh, that's the back of his tank. Oh, I guess I could have. And it was because he was behind a bush facing the other way because he was fighting someone else that I didn't realize I could have just shot him.
Rip all rear-mounted vehicles. That's not too difficult.
It's not too difficult to figure that out when it's a rear-mounted tank.
Right.
But yeah, so bushes throw off visually targeting and also hide you from radar and spotting. There's no radar. Spotting.
Radios. Sure.
Sure. Whatever. Yeah. So obviously that's something that's another thing that will give you an advantage. Of course, sometimes you have no need for it, like you're pushing a flank with your heavies or whatever. You're like, I don't need a bush, or you're active scouting. I don't need a bush. Sure, you don't need a bush. But if you're in that situation, you're like, you know what? This is where I'm making my stand, or this is where I want to see if I can get an ambush on somebody. Use a bush. Use cover. Use concealment. Anything you can find that will help you in any way whatsoever, use it. Your tanks. The game is a 3-dimensional game. It is. You play it on 3 dimensions. You can go up, you can go down, you can go under a bridge, you can go over a bridge. Use it all.
Yep. Yeah, and that kind of goes back to, I see people use bushes a lot more on PC than I do on console.
Oh, yeah.
But bushes are still a thing on console.
And they still work.
And that's why I see a lot of the good players use bushes. A lot of bad players, it's like they don't even exist, basically. They just kind of get lucky. If there's a bush there, oh, that was lucky for them, you know. They don't even realize that it's a thing. And trees work the same way.
Yeah. I don't think my turtle replay is going to be out yet, where you Amarok the guy. But if it is out, go check it out. Just type in World Tanks Mercenaries Turtle.
Usually.
And I should pop up. And in that one, I shoot a chieftain 3 times in the back without him ever seeing me. I'm not in a bush, but I realize there is a bush in between myself and him, so I know he will not see me. Bushes do work. They do. And guess what? If you use a bush and it doesn't work, you've just learned that bush does not work, and it goes back to the, if it doesn't work, try something new. And then if you find a bush that does work, guess what? We've gone back to, if it does work, try it again. So those go hand in hand. A lot of these go hand in hand. And you will learn maps this way by trying things new, and then doing it again if it works, and then doing something different if it doesn't. This is how you learn maps.
Very good. I think this is a lot of important information, you know. I think it's good to go back to basics and kind of refresh and remind yourself how to play the game. And, you know, I think a lot of people could benefit from learning all these things and just taking them into account. And hopefully they will become better tankers and learn.
And then hopefully these players on my team I can depend on now. Yeah.
Don't cap, kill all.
Don't cap, kill all. There's a time to cap, there's a time not to cap, okay?
The time to cap is basically never.
Basically,
if you're me.
If you think it's needed to win, you cap the base, okay?
Yeah.
If it's, I've seen so many times 14-2, and somebody's capping with 2 guys left alive or 1 guy left alive. It's like, why are you capping the base? Let the team get their kills. They might be chasing marks of excellence. They might be chasing ace tankers. You don't know what they're chasing. They might be chasing a Top Gun. Let your teammates get those. It's a team game, so why not let your team get what they're going for? And capping gets you nothing. The only cool medal from capping is the Phantom medal, but that means you've done nothing, actually, for your team. That's actually the scumbag medal, in my opinion. Do you know what the Phantom is?
Because you don't get spotted the whole game.
You don't get spotted the entire time and cap the base to 100% by yourself.
Alright, I'm going to go try to get that medal now. I really want that medal all of a sudden. Suddenly, that's the coolest medal. Everyone go out and try this.
No. The coolest medal, I forget what it's called. It's like invincible, I think it is, and it's go 20 rounds without taking a single point of damage.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Artillery is excluded.
Yeah. I've never seen that one.
Yeah.
I've seen the 14 kill medal,
The Xenon?
Yeah. The Xenon Heroes medal. But I'm not sure if I've seen that one. The Defender one. Yeah. Invincible?
Invincible, I think it is.
Yeah. And of course,
And it's per tank.
Yeah.
So you could pull out your mouse, and go 3 games. And you're like, oh, yes, good. 3 games in a row. I haven't taken any damage. Sweet. And then you can go play some light tanks for a little while. And then you can go back to your mouse because each streak is per tank.
Oh, interesting. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, but you know what? If you, as an attacker, reset the cap, you do get a lot of experience from, resetting the cap.
Oh, yes, you do.
Yeah. It's really nice. It's like you're actually helping the enemy team if they reset you. So think about that next time you try to capture when you shouldn't be capturing.
That's true. And fast capping. Don't fast cap. Number 1 rule of Royal Tanks: never, ever, ever, ever fast cap. And you're thinking, oh, but we win the game if we fast cap. Yes, and you guys know if you watch my channel, I'm all about winning. Win. I'm obsessed with winning. Winning. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you fast cap, there is another point to this game, and it's grinding your tanks.
Mm-hmm.
When you fast cap, somebody sent me a picture of a 0-0 game, no kills.
Whoa.
He said their team went straight for the encounter. The enemy team did not. They capped it in about 2 minutes.
Wow.
Half the enemy team got 0 experience.
Wow.
0. And the top guy got like 14 or something like that. And on the winning team, the top guy had like 150 experience. Imagine that's your double.
Everyone time.
Imagine that's your times 2 for the day. Or imagine it's Christmas and it's your times 5 for the day.
Ooh. Man, I would be so mad.
Oh, it's... Yeah.
You play this game to do things.
Yeah.
And I feel like capturing is a way out. I think it's necessary for, team destruction is a little bit hazy, I like it, but also, there is a rare opportunity that you need to protect your cap circle. You need to have an objective and, all these different things. But, encounter is cool too. But I do agree. Things like that one sandy map where we all go this way, but it's way over here. It's in this valley trench, and it's just the cap circle out there. No one really goes out there except for to capture.
Sand River?
No,
you would remember if it's Sand River.
Yeah,
it's a sandy one.
It can be. Yeah,
it can be.
Yeah, I think it's got all sorts of random things that happen to it. But
what?
Anyways, so that's the one that I see most common. People just go there and capture. That's what they do.
Not El Haloof.
That's not Haloof.
Nalmanhan. Alameen. Is it a console exclusive map?
No, it's been around for a while.
Airfield.
There's got the one down the middle, the one path down the middle that no one takes because it's death, except for light tanks. They go across the field on both sides of the one. There's rocks, giant rocks in between, during the path, so you can kind of
steps.
Yeah, steps. There we go.
Steps. Yeah. That so many times that one gets capped.
Yeah,
and it's so annoying. It's
It's I don't want to go that way. It's not fun that way.
And it's not fun where the cap circle is. I just want to go left and fight these guys.
Yeah. Imagine if they had the cap circle over on the other side of the map.
Imagine if they had it in the middle. Just right in the center of the field.
You're right. What if they had it in the middle? That'd fix the whole game. That'd fix the whole map right there.
Perfect. What if they just got rid of cap circles and let people play the game?
Like Team Destruction?
Like Team Destruction.
Do you like Team Destruction?
I do like it, except when we have artillery on my team and we've all died, and it's now the enemy team has 7 tanks left, and all we have left is a singular Batchat Arty, and he just runs away and hides. And it's why? What's the point of that? You're wasting your own time too. You're not getting much. You're maybe gonna get yourself 14 more experience. Congratulations, and you've just wasted 7 minutes of everyone else's lives who are trying to grind. Just think about it. If you die now, in those 7 minutes of hiding, you could have played another game and got another 1,000 experience. I hate that. But there should be...
Tell me how you really feel about that.
Okay. There should be this voting where...
your team can vote to kill you.
Yes.
I can see how that can be very easily...
Not that specifically. There should be it should all be standard battle, and your team should be able to vote if you can cap or not. So if somebody's just hiding the entire time, you're okay, vote, and then the cap circle appears, you can cap it.
Oh, that'd be interesting. That'd be super cool.
It would be, and you have to have enough people. It has to be a majority who want to cap, because usually there's enough. Usually it's literally 1 or 2 guys who cap, and everybody's mad at those 1 or 2 guys.
Well, here's an idea. Team Destruction, the last 2 minutes of the game, the cap circles they fade in.
The last 2 minutes?
Yeah.
How about the last 5 minutes? 10 minutes of gameplay, because most games are about 6 to 7 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the last 5 minutes.
Last 5 minutes? Well, I feel like that's an awful lot of time. Maybe 3 minutes.
How about 4?
How about 3 minutes? That's as much as I'm giving you.
Wow.
That gives you enough time to capture it twice.
How about no? Yeah. Oh, and how about they introduce +1 -1? We're not going to see that either, so.
Well, didn't you guys see it for a little bit?
Yeah, we got it a couple times.
See, which means you'll probably get it again.
Hopefully.
Time always has a way of repeating
It's planned again this month, but they need to just implement it permanently. Well, that's for another podcast. I think we should wrap this one up. We're an hour 10 or an hour 8 minutes in.
Oh well.
Plus whatever I chop up.
Hey, people.
Or minus.
Yeah, like chop out the part where I'm like, what map is that? I don't know. Anyways,
no, I'm keeping that.
AK is pleb. It's fine. It's fine. Anyways, thank you.
Other
all for
people were
joining
probably
us.
yelling, "It's steps!" And this guy's like, and he's in a cubicle, and everybody pops up. What? Nothing.
It's fine.
I have nothing at all to see here.
What was that, Jimmy?
I said it's first step is to call
Jimmy,
random people.
Jimmy, you're at work. You should probably get back to work. I'm sorry. I mean, I love you, man, but I'm worried about you. So is everyone else.
Jimmy, put down the phone.
Put it down.
Put down the phone, Jimmy. Stop listening to podcasts, Jimmy.
Jimmy Smith. Why are you pointing the gun at me? Put down the phone. I'm pointing my phone at you right now. You need to put down your phone.
Yeah.
Oh dear. All right. Well,
this has been fun.
Yeah, been good.
Yeah, and then every week, hopefully, we'll talk about something different. I'm sure we'll talk about a lot of topics that we talked about before, but we'll emphasize them again or have new spins. I like the idea of having a story of the week, live, like our story with the guy who was tapping on my windshield. Yeah. My car. Yeah. And then
we could have an ASMR session. That'd be fun.
I would not like that. And talk about things. But yeah, I definitely want to get into game mechanics. I really want to talk about how spotting mechanics work sometime. How overmatching works. Really get into it about the 2 calibers rule and so on and so forth. How heat works, how
Super
HE
AP.
works, and AP works, and all this other stuff. So yeah, that's what this is for you guys, and I want to release these every Monday. And because we're doing it podcast format, I can Skype call people, I can Discord call people, we can maybe get some guests. How awesome would it be to get the Awesome Epic guys on here?
I don't know who those people are.
License to Kill got me into those guys back when they had, I think, 7,000 subscribers. They were a little tiny like me, and now they have 70,000. Good guys.
What?
Yeah, 70,000.
Give us your subscriber. Send them to us.
He does. He sends them all the time. When I'm streaming on Twitch, he'll
love
send
that
them over.
guy.
I'll get rated by 300 people. It's like, what?
Nice.
3 people watching in Twitch?
That's so awesome.
And then they all leave because it's like, oh, console peasants. It was nice though. One time he rated me at the same time as I was in a game 3 marking my T-34. So I had 3 guys watching me do that.
Nice.
So 300 guys. It's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Is this? And someone were like, hey, this isn't as bad as I thought it was.
Right?
Console. It's not that bad.
Oh, I love console. I remember the one video that Quickie Baby made about he was on console to test out the Chieftain because we got the Chieftain before they did. Suckers. It's fine. Whatever.
And they still don't have it.
Do they really not hit?
They don't have it.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
And they also removed the Waffen trigger off E100. That was the dumbest choice in the whole wide world. That tank is so farmable. I love fighting that
They
tank.
should have nerfed it the way console did, because the way console nerfed it,
They took one shell away.
No, we still have all 6.
Yeah,
we still have all 6.
PC took away a
They
shell.
took away a shell, but they kept everyone else, and they took away 200 health. But it was still super mobile. The gun handling was super insane. Here on PC, it's now not very mobile.
Here on console,
it's now not very mobile. And whenever you move the tank at all, the gun bloom goes like this.
Now that sound may be hard for you to figure out what he was doing, but it was more like a.
But no, like a.
Yeah, think of grape to Death Star size proportions of your reticule.
Yes.
Instantaneous. It's like the Death Star exploding.
Yeah, that's what's going on when you move your tank in there. Yeah. And that was a better way to nerf it, I feel. And I've never really felt like the waffle was overpowered. If you get caught by a waffle, it's your own fault. They're very easy to avoid.
Except for that one time that you decided.
Oh, the one time I just YOLO'd. I'm like, I'm just gonna YOLO this 279E. Pop, 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 pop. Dead. And then I ran away. And then I did it again to someone else, and then someone else. So 140 I did it to, and then I did it to a.
If you guys get upset about 279Es, just play a Waffen trigger with full premium rounds.
And then go YOLO them.
Yeah, it's fun. They die, you die.
It's fine, but they die. So
they die first.
They die. Hey, I clipped you out. I died
your
out.
team
I'm
probably
happy.
appreciates it too. So
Yeah.
it's great.
Like, good job, Waffle.
Good job.
Good
Proud
job.
of you.
All right, I'm wrapping it
Me
up
too.
there.
I'm hungry.
That's it. Hungry?
What?
It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
No, it's not.
It's this. In case you guys are wondering, we're doing this late at night, so we're a little bit more slap happy, I guess.
No.
Late in the morning? Early in the morning? Twilight? Whatever you want to say.
Goodbye.
All right, take care, everyone. Thanks for tuning into the first podcast double-tracked episode. Hopefully we'll have some every Monday. That's the plan. With different guests. We can pull anyone in. It'll be fun. Maybe some random dude we'll find in the game. Like, hey, you're a stock T32 and you don't know how to play the game. Come on my show. You know?
That'd be fun.
That'd be fun.
That'd be fun.
That'd be fun. Hey, you got a Discord? We randomly message some guy. Hey, you got a Discord? With a cake emoji.
Send it to him on Discord.
On
You can't lie to me now. No.
All right. But yeah, that's it, guys. Yeah, peace out, everyone. Take care. You know, it's a whole shebang. Check out my YouTube if hopefully you're watching my YouTube if you're watching this. But if you're not, Clone Guy. Search up Clone Guy on YouTube. Clone Guy Roll of Thanks.
Yep.
And come subscribe.
All right. Goodbye. Have a wonderful night.
Thanks, AK. I'll see you another time too, AK Fisher of Men.
Sounds good.
Yep.
I'll see you when I see you.
Yes, you will. Peace out, everyone. Bye.